Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an Enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Every sip of Coca-Cola brings you closer to the excitement of the FIFA World Cup 26. Because nothing compares to the joy. So grab a Coke and drink in the FIFA World Cup 26. No purchase necessary. 13 plus in 50 U.S. states and D.C. with a web-enabled device. Ends March 1st with 8 entry periods. Rules at cokeurl.com/soccer rules.
Hello and welcome to I Talk to Ghosts. I'm your haunted host, Jennifer, your resident medium and your teller of ghost stories. Tonight I have for you some amazingly spooky Ouija board ghost stories. After the spooky, stay for the spiritual. Join me at my seance table for a message from the spirits. As your medium, I dedicate this time to opening up the space for spirit to come close for someone listening to the podcast. Tonight's message could be specifically for you. In the meantime, let's get spooky with some ghost stories. The ghost stories start right now. I was 5 years old when it started. My brothers were 14 and 18. My oldest brother had recently developed an interest in weird things, and that Christmas, both of my brothers received Ouija boards. They were made by Milton Bradley, sold as harmless games, but even at 5 years old, I remember thinking this was a terrible idea. They wasted no time trying them out. Almost immediately after those early sessions, the house began to change. I started seeing things, shadow shapes flickering through the rooms, darting from corner to corner. I saw one in the shape of an adolescent boy running up and down our staircase. Doors slammed at all hours, day and night, without warning or explanation. One afternoon, I was sitting on the floor watching cartoons when an invisible hand wrapped around my upper arm. I felt fingers digging into my flesh, hard. I ran into the kitchen where my mother was making dinner and I told her what happened. She examined my arm and we both could see red finger marks positioned in a way that made it impossible for me to have done it myself. The next day, bruises bloomed where those marks had been. At night, I heard footsteps on the wooden floor, slow and deliberate, moving towards me. If I managed to fall asleep, I was often jolted awake by someone shaking me or a quick pinch. I'd wake up and wonder if it all had really happened or if I had dreamt it. My brothers were experiencing things too. Whatever had come through that board wasn't curious or playful. It seemed threatening. It took a couple years to finally rid the house of whatever it was, and as I grew up, I convinced myself it hadn't been that bad, and that a lot of it could be explained away. When I was 12, a close friend of mine wanted to experiment with a spirit board. By then, I had dismissed much of what we had gone through, and I gave her one of our Ouija boards. After using the board a few sessions, she claimed she was communicating with an entity that hadn't lived a physical life for centuries. One night, while attempting to contact it again, she lit a candle. Somehow, her blouse caught on fire. The flames burned her pretty badly. She never told her mother. Her mother was very strict, and my friend wanted to avoid any punishment. Instead, she treated the burn herself with vitamin E and gauze and prayed that it would heal. That was the end of it. I never touched another Ouija board again, and I will never allow one into my home. My daughters mentioned they wanted to try one. No way. Not ever. When my friend bought a Ouija board, we were determined to make it work and prove that it worked. So we started with what felt like harmless tests. I remember grabbing random handfuls of popcorn, stuffing them under a pillow, and then asking the board how many pieces were hidden there. Every time, it answered correctly. Not close, exact. One night, we asked it to spy on my older sister in her bedroom. The board said she wasn't there. We laughed and ran down the hall to prove it wrong. Her room was empty. She had snuck out the window to see her boyfriend. Those were the nice stories. That house had always had activity, but once the Ouija board entered the picture, everything escalated, and not in a good way. The energy shifted. It became aggressive. Walls banged as if struck from the inside. Doors opened on their own. The kitchen faucet would turn on without warning. Objects were knocked from shelves. We heard muffled whispers, saw figures at the edges of rooms, and felt the heavy stomp of footsteps pacing through the house. It was a nightmare. At some point, we found a book my mother owned that claimed Ouija boards only attract negative and sometimes outright evil spirits. It included a prayer meant to be read beforehand to invite only positive, benevolent entities. Here's the part that still chills me. When we read that prayer, the planchette would not move, not even a little. It was as if something was refusing to let go. I regret ever messing with that board, and I always warn anyone who's curious. Some doors, once open, don't care about your intentions. I'm here to tell you not to listen to those that say it's just a game made with cardboard and plastic. This story happened when I was 18. I'm now 24, and to this day, it's still hard for me to talk about it, and I'm still fearful of telling the story because it's terrifying. The first time I had ever even touched a Ouija board was when I was about 8, and I played with my aunt. But I'm positive she was the one who moved the planchette, because she has since admitted to me that she was just joking around. But on this particular night, a group of friends and I thought we would try a Ouija board because it was close to Halloween. We lit candles and did the whole thing. We started asking questions for about 10 or 15 minutes and didn't really get a response. We were all ready to give up at that point, but then one of my friends said, "We invite all spirits to contact us." Everything changed after that. The planchette started to move around almost like it was charged. What made it real for me were the questions I asked and the answers I received. No one in that group could have known the answers to my questions, and they were all correct. The planchette kept moving back and forth from Z to O, Z to O, Z to O, over and over again. We tried to say goodbye, and we had to literally force the planchette down to goodbye. We were all freaked out, but we put the board away and we went about our night. After we all went to sleep, I had a dream. You could almost say it was an out-of-body experience. In this dream, I awoke in my room, and kind of floated through my house. Everything throughout my home was the same, including the pictures on the walls, all of my mom's little trinkets on shelves, down to every single detail. I started floating towards the front door, then through the front door, and at the end of our sidewalk was a tall, black, winged figure with long talon-like fingers. No matter how hard I tried to get away, I kept getting closer and closer to this thing, and then finally, when I met it, I took on its perspective. Now, I was looking at my house, floating towards it this time, when inside everything was untouched, just as it had been moments earlier. Then I floated towards my parents' bedroom, and I was standing at the end of their bed, watching them sleep. Then towards my sister's room, and then at the foot of her bed, watching her sleep. And then I was at my own bedroom door, but as soon as I got to my door, I woke up. It was 3 a.m. I tried to shake it off and go back to sleep. The next morning, I was scared because what was that dream last night? This happened a few more times. The same thing. Demon at the end of the walkway, parents' room, sister's room, my bedroom, wake up, 3 a.m. About a month after using the board, some friends and I rented a lake house for the weekend. We got down there, and the first night, I had the same dream. But this time, it was the house we were renting. I saw my friends sleeping, and when I floated to the door to my room, I woke up, 3 a.m. I was spooked. At this point, I had no idea what to do, so I finally spoke to my youth pastor, and they picked me up with the board and took me to their home where we prayed and prayed and prayed, and then we took the board and threw it away in a random dumpster, banishing this demon from my life. I had high hopes that this would work. Needless to say, it didn't. The dreams continued. I tried to anoint my house with holy oil. I would recite scripture throughout the rooms. Nothing worked. Until about a year later, my parents divorced. About a year after we moved, my mom, my sister, and myself were sitting talking together when my sister randomly asked me if I ever felt uneasy in our old house or if I ever saw anything that scared me. I told her everything about the dreams, how they would happen over and over, about everything I saw. She lost all color from her face and said, "I saw that thing at the foot of my bed, staring at me, watching me sleep." I had instant chills all over my body. I never found out exactly which demon was tormenting me, but I'm also not really sure I want to. I will never touch a Ouija board again, and neither should you.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return,
But I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Hello and welcome back to I Talk to Ghosts. I have a message from the spirits this evening for someone listening, so thank you for joining me here at my seance table. Tonight as I work, I have with me myrrh. I'm working with a resin. Myrrh will invoke the divine feminine. It can help you deepen your connection with spirit, create a feeling of peace and joy, and also facilitate healing. To bless and sanctify your home, burn myrrh with frankincense as an incense. That's myrrh, Myrrh. Gonna take a deep breath, clear my mind, open this space. I have a grandfather coming through. Grandfathers seem to be a favorite for the podcast. This gentleman is so calm, so spiritually grounded, and he feels like a ball of light. In life, everything felt like a special occasion worth being joyful about. He loved to celebrate everything, and I'm also seeing a lot of joking. Dare I say pranking. He loved to make others laugh. He loved to laugh at himself. And he's showing me a TV guide, how he loved his TV guide, and he would dog-ear the television shows that he wanted to watch that week. I'm seeing house slippers with him. It feels like he had a special phrase. His like scooting around shoes, something like that. Also, a little dog is like running around him, looking up at him. Just very happy to be sharing a moment and an adventure with this gentleman. Very nice guy. He's saying, enjoy the simple things in life. That is the key. You will find so much happiness in the little joys around you. And that's really all you need. And he's like, the more you can make people laugh and smile, the better. Because you're sharing something with them. You are sharing a part of your soul with theirs when you laugh together. Okay, his message for you tonight is, he's talking about generosity. And I'm not sure which way this is flowing for you. If you need to rely on generosity, that's it. Okay. He sees you as a generous person who does not take help easily. So he's saying, hey, explore that a little bit. Everyone needs help every once in a while. It's better to reach out to those you love and trust than to be stressed and wondering how you're going to do it. You know what I mean? He's like, things have been difficult in more ways than one, and he wants to lend his energy and his support. You're gonna get through this. Keep moving forward. Yeah, don't get caught up in drama and negativity. Steer away from that. You don't have to be in it. He's saying times are hard. Try not to close down. Try not to become very frugal in all aspects of life. It'll be okay. He's showing me his young grandkids, and it feels like there's just a lot going on. He wants to send his love to you and to your family, and he hopes that he can extend a little bit of that joy that you know him for, and that he loves you very much, and he wants you to know the universe flows, and you will find that connection, and all of this will loosen up a little bit for you, and just hang in there and reset, reconnect with yourself. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. If this message connects for you, oh my gosh, I'm so happy it did. Please leave a comment, let me know. I hope it brings you comfort and encouragement. Thank you. And with that, dear listener, we've reached the end of this episode of I Talk to Ghosts. I hope you've enjoyed my spirit work this evening, and I also hope you enjoyed those spooky stories of Ouija board experiences. Do you have your own personal Ouija board story you'd like to tell? Please reach out to me if you do. I would love to hear it. In the meantime, wherever you wander off to, in this world or the next, just remember, come back. visit with me. Have a lovely evening and good night.
This message is sponsored by Greenlight. With school out, summer is the perfect time to teach our kids real-world money skills they'll use forever. Greenlight is a debit card and the #1 family finance and safety app used by millions of families, helping kids learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely. Parents can send their kids money and track their spending and saving, while kids build money confidence and skills in fun ways. Start your risk-free Greenlight trial today at greenlight.com/Spotify. That's greenlight.com/Spotify.
What is natural? When you read natural flavors on a label, most people don't realize it's often not real food at all. Those hidden ingredients quietly work against how your body feels and functions over time. That's why Just Ingredients uses only real food ingredients, so you know exactly what you're putting in your body. Stop guessing. Start knowing at justingredients.us.